Melbourne, we thought we'd come down to Nissan Motorsport and check out the V8 Supercars. So we found Rick Kelly. Rick, you were racing yesterday in the V8 Supercars. Give me a summary of how it went for you this weekend.
Yeah, for us it's around, obviously very early in the year like F1, but we'd already been to Clipsal for our very first round of the championship. So quite new days for a brand new car. We went a little bit better than we thought. We're actually a little bit down on horsepower whilst we still develop the new engine for Nissan, the VK56DE that we use. So Albert Park being a little bit more of a horsepower track, we sort of expected to be a little bit behind the 8 ball, and we're actually sort of midfield to the top 5 with a couple of our cars. So for us that was very good, and a good opportunity for us to learn a little bit more about the new platform that we've got with what they call the car of the future for V8. So myself a little bit further back, we're in sort of 8th to I guess 12th and 13th throughout the 4 races. So I would have liked to have, I guess, been a little bit further up. But nevertheless, a clean weekend, not a lot of damage between all the cars, and a good chance for us to move on to the next one.
Now, we've come all the way from England, and we were expecting some sunshine in Melbourne, and there was at the beginning of the week.
Yeah.
You guys have had a heat wave out here, and then suddenly it chucked it down on the weekend. It affected the Formula One pretty badly with qualifying. How does it affect you guys as well?
Well, for us, we've got a big, heavy car. Obviously, not much of an aero pack around it compared to Formula One. So we race in wet weather over here 2-3 times a year, and for us, it doesn't really affect anything. We just chuck wet weather tyres on, alter the setup slightly, and we can race. So we've raced in pretty treacherous conditions over the last 5 or 6 years, hail and all sorts of stuff. So it doesn't affect us too much. Obviously, from a crowd point of view and a motorsport point of view, it's always a little bit more fun turning up to an event when there's sunshine and smiles all around. But the wet for us does tend to produce some really good racing and a good spectacle, because obviously with the change in grip conditions out there, a lot of people tend to crash into each other and that sort of thing. So again, it was an opportunity for us to drive the car that we've got for the very first time in the wet. So starting that race, because there was no warm-up for us in the morning, starting that race we didn't know what was going to happen and how the car was going to perform, so it's good learning.
And you're back at base now. The cars are all behind us being jacked up. What happens now once you get back?
Exactly, so Monday morning back to the workshop, cars get jacked up, they get set down on the scales and make sure that all the settings on the car are exactly what we thought they were, so we can compile all the data from the weekend and ensure that we learn as much from that as possible. All the panels will then be removed from the car, de-stickered and either replaced or sanded back and repainted and re-stickered ready for the next round. And then a little bit like an aircraft or any other race car, every component on our race car is actually lifed, so depending on its life it'll be taken out, either crack tested, inspected, overhauled or completely replaced depending on what it is. So for us the engine is obviously a very new platform, and so is the gearbox, so those 2 key components will get completely stripped and checked over and ensure that there's no wear and tear that's abnormal, and then it'll get reassembled and put back in the car for the next race meeting.
And I've spied a little bit at the front here.
Yeah.
Talk us through what happened here. This looks a little bit of a scrape.
Maybe that's been just damaged in the truck, I'm not too sure.
Oh yeah.
No, look, our category is a bit of a bump and grind sort of category. There's always a lot of bumping going on all around the car, so it's a bit of a shame actually. This car was brand new a couple of weeks ago and it looks like this already, but yeah, the whole front bumper will be taken off, stripped down again and repaired and repainted and re-stickered and put back on. But that for us is damage that won't affect anything. We can damage a car pretty considerably in a V8 supercar and continue the race without any effect. The only problem is if panels are actually loose and flapping around, we could get a mechanical black flag and be forced to come in and fix it, but generally it's not too bad. And that's a good thing, I guess, with a saloon car compared to an open wheeler, is you can lean on people.
Absolutely. And you've got a bit of time now between the next race in Tasmania. What do you do between now and then?
Well, for us, getting the 4 Nissan Altimas to the grid's been a very big task over the last 12 months. We've basically been spending every minute of every day and night for a lot of our guys just getting the cars to a point where we can take it to a racetrack and race them. So now that we have got 3 weeks up our sleeve, we can now start to look at the performance of the cars and do a lot of work on how we went over the last 2 race meetings. Because we've got a lot of data between 4 cars and 2 race meetings, all those races with different setups on each car. We can now dig into all the data and analyse what's worked and what hasn't worked, and spend time on making sure we get to the track and perform to a stronger level each time, rather than just trying to get to the point where we've got 4 cars that are built going to the track. So very exciting time for us to now dig deeper and find some speed.
So you've got a bit of homework to do between now and then.
We've got a lot of homework to do, there's no doubt.
Well, thanks so much for talking to us about
My
your
pleasure.
car and the race. For more on the V8 Supercars, subscribe to Pole Position.
the heart of the V8 supercar for us. It's a brand new engine that we've built and developed for the start of the 2013 championship.